What's up, fight fans? AJ here. Y'all know what I do. I talk boxing. And today, as I was going through the articles, ESPN, just looking up this fight, the Badou Jack versus none other than that boy George Groves. I read an article where Carl Froch, I'm gonna leave the article in the description. Carl Froch said that after his fights with George Groves, he believes that George Groves will never be the same fighter again, being that George Groves took 2 L's by the hand of Carl Froch, the Cobra. I like Carl Froch a lot. 2 knockout losses by Carl Froch. First one being a real questionable stoppage. Like, some people felt like they shouldn't have stopped the fight. The second one being a clear-cut knockout, vicious knockout by Carl Froch, heavy-handed. You know, that man doesn't play. But in my opinion, man, in this fight for the WBC 168-pound championship, Badou Jack is a little, I think he's in over his head thinking he's going to win this fight. Of course, he has to think he's going to win this fight, but in my opinion, George Groves is a very talented, he's so skilled. I like watching George Groves fight. Like, George Groves fights like the traditional slick black fighter. And I know a lot of people, I don't mean to say no racist shit, but George Groves fights like the traditional slick boxer, black boxer that you could catch in any one of these gyms. Philadelphia to New York to the Midwest, California. He has a lot of flash to his game, man. And George Groves is very skilled. And I love watching George Groves fight. Even in the fights with Carl Froch, he started out pretty good. If he could have kept up the pace and kept up the momentum a little bit better on the defense, instead of gassing out, I felt like George Groves could have beat a Carl Froch. In the first fight, I thought George Groves was winning like on the points, but you know, Carl Froch is the comeback guy. We see what he did against Jermaine Taylor. He does what he has to do. That's why he, you know, he's somewhere in the walking off in the sunset with his model chick. But with Badou Jack, he is the definition of hard work. Like, I feel like Badou Jack is not like the Jay Leon Loves. He is the only guy in the Mayweather stable that I could say that he isn't into none of the bullshit. He's not at the Mayweather boxing gym just because it's the Mayweather boxing gym and he wants to, you know what I mean, live that type of lifestyle. Badou Jack seems like a real straightforward guy, handles his business, no bullshit. With that being said, he isn't on that level. And I wasn't fooled by the Anthony Dirrell fight, even though I picked Anthony Dirrell to beat Badou Jack, because Anthony Dirrell is in my opinion more skilled of a fighter than Badou Jack. If Anthony Dirrell would have gave the performance that he gave against Marco Antonio Rubio just a couple days ago, I feel like Anthony Dirrell could have beat a Badou Jack. But Anthony Dirrell didn't come in there with the same muster. He came in there thinking that he was supposed to win this fight, and that's what happens when a fighter, anybody comes into a situation feeling like they're supposed to win a fight. Like, this shit ain't given to nobody. I don't give a fuck who you are. But the thing that I'm watching about in this fight is if George Groves could set the pace. Because if you're going to fight at Badou Jack's pace, that's like giving him the bigger opportunity to win the fight. If George Groves comes in there and boxes the way he boxed against Carl Froch in the first fight, even the way he boxed against James DeGale in that fight, even though that was a little bit questionable, but I feel like he could definitely come off and be the WBC champion. Fuck with Carl Froch saying that he ain't ready. He's going to be a different fighter after the knockouts. Like, I don't see that shit happening. Because George Groves is delusional. He really feels like he is that guy. He really feels like he's that guy. I swear to God. He's one of those type of fighters, like, I said this in a previous video talking about the before the knockout and the after the knockout. You understand what I'm saying? Like the BC and the AD, the before Christ, and the after death. George Groves feels like, I feel like personally he's one of those fighters that he ain't really paying attention to no knockout. Because in his brain, he felt like he beat Carl Froch his first fight. And he feels like he's of that level. And this fight is just going to lead to another big fight. And I have to mention it. In my opinion, George Groves beats Badou Jack. Decision. Unanimous decision at that. And that just has that James DeGale fight looming. And being that these guys are both two UK fighters, that's going to be a fight that's really going to pack the seats, really going to have me looking on the internet, trying to find ways to stream the fight. And that's going to be the fight. The IBF, the WBC, that clash. Because we all know if Badou Jack keeps that, beats George Groves, Al Heyman's going to have him fighting a whole bunch of Al Heyman fighters, unknowns, maybe a Jay Leon Love had that fight, or, Anthony Durrell, being that Durrell, or even Andre Durrell. Now, that's going to be an interesting fight. But I feel like George Groves going to cleanly beat him. He has too much flash and substance for Badou Jack. Badou Jack didn't luck up and gain the title, but he definitely caught a fight at Anthony Durrell at the time that wasn't in the right state of mind and thought this fight was supposed to be handed to him, which it wasn't supposed to be handed to him. And it's going to be hard for him to do what he wants to do against George Groves. If he does set the pace against George Groves, he has a better chance of winning. If he's the clear ring general in there, he has a better chance of winning. But come on, let's be honest. We know who's the better fighter in this fight. And if Carl Froch is wrong, George Groves is going to take this W, unanimous W, on the Mayweather undercard and take the belt over there. Might fight a little cupcakes here and there, because the WBC, they aren't too, strict with making the fights. But I know Eddie Hearn is going to make that fight, and he's going to put that James DeGale George Groves fight on for us. Again, with everything on the line this time. And it's going to be one of the best fights of 2016. I'm already predicting shit, man. That's how I do, man. I look at these records and I see what's going on. I have to give it to y'all the way, the way I want to hear it. I ain't going to bullshit y'all. I don't do that. If it ain't personal, you're going to hear it on this channel. But make sure you like the video, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's AJ Knows Boxing. And I'm definitely going to come out with a boxing schedule every month. Don't worry about it. Please don't run off telling people. I'm going to definitely have a video just running through the boxing schedule, because there's a lot of good fights that's coming out, man. We got to watch. I got to keep y'all updated, because I know a lot of people, y'all doing y'all work. Y'all doing different things. Y'all not really understanding when the fights is going to come on, what time. Y'all may be in the West Coast. Y'all may be in London, maybe somewhere else in the world. So y'all want to know what's going down in the fight game. So I'm definitely going to make sure I bring that to y'all. Post fights, fight predictions, everything, man. You rocking with me, AJ. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video if you like the video. And I got George Groves. I got the future match, James DeGale, George Groves. I might come out with, after this fight, I'm going to just keep talking like I always do. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. It's AJ Knows Boxing, and I'm out. 1.